my spooky friends, you are in for a scare here at Toy Transformations. I'm WitChelle and today I have a chilling but yet fabulous video for you. I'm gonna show you how to transform some of the greatest Halloween characters into mermaids. So, if you want to know how the Nun, Tiffany, Vampirina, the Corpse Bride, and Coraline end up looking, you gotta stick with me till the end, if you can, because this is gonna be super creepy. Our first creepy mermaid is gonna be Coraline. First, we need to make her hair with some air dry clay, and then we're gonna give it some texture with our modeling tool. Once the clay has dried, we can paint her hair with some of this cool navy blue acrylic paint. Make sure you don't leave a single blank spot. And since this was a doll we had transformed previously, we're gonna cover up the details of the previous transformation with some acrylic paint, like this. Look, we made her cute hair brooch with a tiny bit of clay. Now, we just need to give it some color with a tiny bit of metallic gold paint. Time to turn Coraline into a mermaid. With a big chunk of clay, we're gonna cover both of her legs and we're gonna shape with our fingers like so. For the fins, we used some more clay and we shaped it with our fingers as well. Now, we just need to attach them to the tip of the tail. Coraline wears a cute skirt that sticks out of her raincoat, so we're gonna trace a few lines on her tail to give it that same look, just like this. Next, we're gonna use some butter yellow for her raincoat. Did you know that Dakota Fanning was the one who voiced Coraline? She's such a great actress! Did you see her in Twilight? Tell me in the comments! Then, let's use a bit of brick orange for the skirt details. According to Coraline's creator, her name was originally a typo. He intended to name her Caroline, but kept Coraline instead. One of my favorite features of her are her 6 striped socks. So, that's the pattern we're gonna use for the tail. First, paint it all with some sky blue. And with this cool shade of violet, we're gonna add the stripes. Use an ultra thin brush and try to make them look even, like this. Now, let's use some butter yellow for the tip of her tail. We want it to look just like her awesome rain boots. Look, we traced the details of her raincoat with a pencil. And now, we're gonna make the hood with a tiny bit of air dry clay. Once the clay has dried, paint the hood to make it match the raincoat, just like this. Something that cannot be missing is her cool messenger bag. Let's make it with a small piece of red clay and some card. Fix it in place with some clear glue. She's almost ready. We just need to change the color of her eyes with a tiny bit of chocolate brown acrylic paint. Let's take a closer look. And here we have Mermaid Coraline. She looks amazing with all the details of her raincoat and the strip pattern of her tail. Do you think this version of her has an other mother too? Let's move on to the most adorable vampire, Vampirina. First, we're gonna use some red clay to make her hair. Don't forget about her widow's peak. As you can see, we made her 6 pigtails that look like bat wings with some more clay. Now, let's use a modeling tool to give her hair texture. Once the clay has dried, we can paint her hair with some jet black acrylic paint. Make sure you spread it out evenly. Now, we need to paint her face to give her that vampire-esque look. Use a little bit of cornflower blue for this. Perfect, friends! And with the tip of your modeling tool, we're gonna paint her cute hair ties. Just trace 2 thin lines like we're doing here. Next, we're gonna give her a sweet mermaid tail. So, grab a big chunk of clay and cover both of her legs. Just like these, guys. For her fins, let's use some more clay. But to make her look just like a real vampire mermaid, we're gonna give them a cool bat wings shape with the help of the modeling tool. Now, let's make her hair look super realistic by adding some scales. Use the tip of a straw and mark it down all over the tail. It's pretty easy, friends! For Vampirina's cute top, we're gonna use a tiny bit of bubblegum paint. Just cover her torso area and a small section of her arms. And since our cute vampire from Pennsylvania always wears a neat black jumper, we're gonna make her mermaid tail black as well. Leave the lower part unpainted. The lower part of the tail, we're gonna use some more of the cornflower blue. Make sure you don't paint the fins yet, because we'll use another color for them. Remember I told you Vampirina wears a jumper? Well, let's add the details of the jumper with a tiny bit of jet black acrylic paint. And with an ultra thin brush and some Azure blue, we're gonna give her tail a 6 spider web pattern. Try to make them look even, guys. To finish up her tail, we have to paint the fins, but we're gonna use 2 colors for them. First, some bubblegum pink. And for the lower part, a tiny bit of jet black. Next, we have to make her arms and her necks match her face, so we're gonna use some more cornflower blue. All we need to do now is use some purple to change the color of her eyes. Vampirina is ready. Come with me to see the final results. Here we have Mermaid Vampirina, friends. She looks incredible with that spiderweb pattern on her tail and that amazing hairdo. I simply love her. Our next scary mermaid is gonna be no other than the Nun. So first we need to paint her hair with a little bit of jet black acrylic paint. And to give her that ghastly look, we're gonna use some Arctic White acrylic paint. Paint everything but the eyes. Next, let's use the tip of her modeling tool and a tiny bit of black to paint the details of her lips and the cracks on her face. Also, you can outline her eyes. She's gonna look super spooky. Something that cannot be missing on Nun's outfit is her hood. So let's attach this piece of black fabric to the top of her head. Time to turn her into a mermaid. With a big chunk of clay, let's make the tail. This version of Nun is going to be way friendlier than the one from the movies. Let's not forget about her fins. Attach them to the tip of the tail and trace a few lines with the modeling tool to give it some texture. To give her tail a super wrinkly texture, we're going to stick this piece of clay. This will make it look just like the Nun's habit. Use your fingers or a tool to shape it like so. Let's add some color. First, we need to paint her torso and both of her arms with jet black. Then, paint the tail black as well. Did you guys know that the director of this film claims that ghosts may have appeared in the set? What do you think? For her crucifix, we're gonna use the tip of her modeling tool and a little bit of metallic gold acrylic paint. Paint it right in the middle of her chest. This piece of cord is gonna be perfect for her belt. All we gotta do is paint it all black to make it look just like the one the Nun wears in the movie. Next, we need to paint her hands and her neck with some Arctic White so they match the super ghostly face. Now let's fix in place her belt. Just wrap it around her waist and apply some clear glue, just like this. For the final touch, we're gonna use some lime green to make her eyes look super spooky. Come with me to see the final result, guys. Here we have the Mermaid Nun. I think she has been the scariest one so far. I simply love all the details of her face and her habit. Our next creepy mermaid is going to be no other than the Bride of Chucky. We're talking about Tiffany, so let's begin by making her hair. Once it looks like this, we're gonna trace a few lines along her head with our modeling tool. This will give it a nice texture. Now, we gotta paint it with some of this sugar cookie yellow. Make sure you don't leave a single blank spot, friends. Since Tiffany has a super pale skin tone, we're gonna use some of this ultra pale rose acrylic paint. And something that makes her look pretty tough is her black makeup. So let's paint her lips with a teeny tiny bit of jet black and outline her eyes as well. Now let's give Tiffany a cool mermaid tail. I simply love that bad girl look she has. She really pulls it off. For the fins, let's use some more clay and attach it to the tip of the tail. Now, trace some lines with the modeling tool to give it some texture. Tiffany wears a cute white dress, so let's make her tail look similar to the dress by tracing a few lines with our modeling tool. Then we need to paint the dress. First, the part that covers her chest area and then the tail. We know the clay is already white, but this will give it a nice smooth finish. And something that cannot be missing is her thick leather jacket. Use a tiny bit of jet black to paint it and paint the tip of the tail as well. In the movie The Bride of Chucky, we can see that she's not naturally blonde, so let's add the details of her hair with an ultra thin brush. All we gotta do now is change the color of her eyes with a little bit of azure blue. Tiffany will look just like in the movie. Let's take a closer look. Wow, Mermaid Tiffany looks amazing! I simply love her leather jacket and her tail that looks just like the dress from the movie. We even gave her a sweetheart tattoo. Our last transformation of the day is going to be the lovely Emily, aka the Corpse Bride. So let's begin by modeling her hair out of some chunks of her dry clay. Use a modeling tool to make it look nice and curly. Once her hair looks like this, we're gonna paint it with some azure blue acrylic paint. Now, let's make her look just like a zombie by painting her face with a little bit of cornflower blue acrylic paint. And to give her a more realistic look, let's add some stains all over her face with some seafoam green. Just a few gentle strokes will do. Then, let's use some more of the azure blue to highlight the contour of her eyes. This will make her look super zombie-ish. Time to make her mermaid tail. So, just like we did with our other dolls, cover both of her legs with some air dry clay and shape it like so. For the fins, we have used some more clay. To make them look like they're part of the wedding dress, we're gonna add a pleated texture with our modeling tool. How cute! Now let's make a corset for the top part of the dress. Just place a piece of foam on her torso area and model it with your fingers. Once the clay has dried, we need to apply a coat of Arctic White acrylic paint all over it. This will make it look pretty shiny and smooth. Now, dip the tip of your modeling tool in some azure blue paint and start adding the details of the dress. Just trace a few lines like we're doing here. Then we need to make her arm and neck match the zombie blue tone of her face. Leave the left arm unpainted, guys. We left the left arm unpainted because that one is pure bones, so first we need to paint it all black. And with a tip of our modeling tool and some Arctic White, we're gonna paint the super creepy skeleton arm. Now we're gonna make her look like a super elegant bride by applying a coat of glitter glue all over the dress. She's gonna look spectacular. And she couldn't be a bride without a veil, so let's make it using this LOL tiara. First, we need to paint it with some gray. Then, apply some clear glue on the top of her head and stick the tiara with a piece of chiffon fabric. Her veil will look amazing. For the final touch, we have to repaint her eyes. First, cover them all with white and then add the pupils later on. The corpse bride will be ready, friends. Wow, this Tim Burton's creation looks super gorgeous, friends. I think she was definitely my favorite transformation of the day. And that was it for today, my creepy friends. Here we have our spooky budget fabulous Halloween mermaids. They're the perfect transformation for this season. First, we have Coraline with that neat raincoat and her striped mermaid tail. Next to her is the corpse bride with that super realistic wedding dress. I love her. Then we have the super tough mermaid Tiffany. Her leather jacket is super cool. Next to her is the lovely vampirina. I love how her bat wings hairdo look. And finally, we have the Mermaid Nun. Let me know in the comments below which of these spooky mermaids was your favorite. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell for more fantastic transformations. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and we love you so much. Bye bye!